Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make a wedding card with a couple different cool techniques. I hope you'll stay tuned. I'm using a layered stamp set from Rubbernecker stamps called Melissa, and it looks like this when it's stamped, and I wasn't sure if I liked the colors I used, but my background is anyway, I'm not sure about that. But first things first is I'm going to stamp it with an ink that's an old Stampin' Up color called Pool Party. And the outer image is really a fine detail. It's just very, very a thin line, which I love. But then the dress that you layer onto it, see how pretty that is? It's really like a classic, beautiful dress. But then you layer this skirt onto it. I'm going to take that one off. And I did this a couple different times the last time because the first time I did it, I wasn't sure if I had it in the right place. And the second time I was like, well, do I like it there? I'm not sure. So I just played with it a lot. And then I'm going to use on this one an ink also retired called Soft Sky. I was going for those really light, kind of between a green and a blue color, almost like Tiffany Blue. That's the color of my paper anyway. That's the color of my paper I'm going to use for the card base. It's going to be a 5x7 inch card. What I think I'm going to do with this is I think I'm going to cut it out and then layer it, maybe. It really comes off like that. See how that image, the lined image that you put on the skirt is really, is much thicker than the other one. I want to make sure I'm using the right one. Yeah, Soft Sky. Okay, put that one, put that on there. Anyway, my plan is, I think, at this point, is I think I'll cut it out and then layer it onto a piece of silver that I'm also going to cut out so that the bride and her dress are a halo of silver. That'd be pretty. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We're going to think about it. I'm going to do one more time because I don't like the way that this stamp seems to not pick up the color the whole way. It almost looks, I don't know, can you see that? It almost looks like it's not fully colored. So I'm going to do it one more time. Really get it inked up. And if you want to, when you do this, you can also move it and make her skirt fuller, but I didn't want to do that. I tried a couple variations of colors to see if I liked those, and this is what I like the best. Then I'm going to move her. I'm going to move our stamp so it's more on the outline of her dress. And this time I'm going to use a color block, my favorite things in Snow Cone. Good summer color. I used this the last time when I did it, and it came out a lot fuzzier, but I think it's because of the way this stamp is supposed to stamp. It's supposed to look fuzzy. It's supposed to look hand-drawn, I think. I like that color. I like how it's supposed to look like a scribbled dress. I will say, though, I'm going to show you the picture of the stamp. It has another stamp that you can put over her bouquet, and I could not, I just see it's like it's almost like a halo and some scribbles. I couldn't get on board with that, so I didn't, I'm not using that. I tried it, I played with it a lot, but I didn't get anywhere with it. You know, it wasn't like I ended up with a result that made me happy. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. And I'm done with Rebecca. I have a sentiment that I'm going to also stamp, and I'll probably die cut this. This was from a company, it was from a stamp show. I think it's from Just for Fun is the name of the stamp company. And I think it goes like that. And as I said, I might die cut that because I'm cutting out the image of the of her. Pool Party was my darkest color, so I think it is anyway. It might not be. At this juncture, I'm kind of confused about what's the darkest and which is not. My goal is to make sure that the sentiment is dark, so I will be stamping it a few times. I'm just leaning my arm against it because it's not a layered stamp. It doesn't have foam behind it. I just put a little bit of Aleene's Tack It Over and Over on it and go with it, and it works great for me, but I have to kind of stick my arm on it to get it to really adhere to the paper. Next up, let's cut her out. I did this on a lighter tone or a lighter grade paper because I didn't think it would make a big difference for the overall look, and I want to cut it out. And if you're going to cut something out, it's a lot easier to cut it out when it's on lighter weight paper, in my opinion, anyway. So I'm just going to, it's wet at the bottom here, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful of my scissor technique, which is at most times not the greatest. Okay. Now I'm going to put the, I'll leave the sentiment here so that we can cut it out of something. I think I'm going to lay her on this with glue stick. This is a permanent glue stick, and hopefully it'll do a good job of adhering her dress to this. Let's see if we can cut that out then. I'm pretty sure you're not going to want to hang around while I do this, so what I'll do is let me cut it out and then we'll come back. Okay, so I used these dies to cut out the sentiment, and then I put foam tape on under it and between the layers, and I use a bigger one and a smaller one to cut the sentiment. But then I decided that it needed something else, so I added a layer of plain silver to her, and then I put her up on thin foam, and I thought I would set her kind of at the bottom of the card like that, and then the sentiment, I don't know if I should put it off to the side. I also thought about putting a thin, like, ribbon of some kind under that. Let me grab my ribbons and see if we have one that would look good. Okay, I found a ribbon that I liked. It's really cool looking, and I only had this much left of it, which is perfect for what I want to do. I decided I put some tear tape on the back of it, and now I'm just trying to get the backing off the tear tape. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide it under her and her dress. Now, all we have to do is cut that off, hopefully. And then, I think we're just about done. I always cut my ribbon from the back so that I don't cut the card, and you can get it a lot closer that way too. And then, the other thing I want to do, I stamped the inside with this sentiment that I also got at a stamp show. I think this was also from Just for Fun, but it might have been another one of the stores. For your wedding, may your day be filled with joy, your hearts with love. Congratulations and best wishes. So there it is. It's a very simple card. I think it's the kind of card that you don't expect at weddings, because you usually see very, very over-the-top things. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.